I thought I'd do a little video on something I saw the other day which annoyed me, and I've noticed it's a trend. It's not just the BBC doing this, but I saw a video and it's from quite a while ago. I think it was November last year, and the BBC did a 15-minute video on preppers, and they had like a really arrogant host on there who was trying to insult them constantly. And like I've said before, I'm not like a full-scale proper prepper. I don't have months and months of food stashed away in water reserves and things like that. But I do have basic first aid kit stuff. More food that would last me than a week, sort of thing, and bottled water. So although I'm not a full-scale prepper, I thought I'd weigh in on this. And what I've seen a lot is not just the BBC doing this, but is almost very organised bot-like comments on YouTube videos where I always block them, where I'll have like 15 messages left in the space of an hour by apparently different users, but all with very similar kind of copy-pasted messages saying things like, oh, you're a paranoid freak, you're going to get people killed, nobody needs to prepare, we're all safe, the government protects us, that sort of thing. So it seems like there's definitely some sort of establishment, force at work against preppers. So I was thinking that's probably just because they're more independent and more likely to survive without the government's help, which obviously isn't good for lots of governments that want people to rely on welfare and keep voting for them and paying taxes. So I was thinking of lots of reasons why you'd be sensible to prep, and I've sort of done a video on this before, but I thought I was going to go into it again, because in these documentaries they always try and talk to like the craziest people, and I'm not trying to insult the people in the video at all, because I thought a lot of them were very rational, but it's just that for the sake of these documentaries, I think they always try and get the people who take prepping to the most extreme and then try and make fun of them for it, not people who have just simply got reserves of things and contingency plans. So, for example, I was thinking, if you lived in an area that floods easily, as lots of countries do have flood areas, and the emergency services are normally very slow to respond, if you had life jackets, or maybe inflatable boat that you could put somewhere in your house just in case you needed it, as well as flood defences, you're prepping in a way, aren't you? You're prepared for that sort of event. Similar, in lots of places in America where they get strong hurricanes and things, the people who have the storm shelters, who have built those into their houses and survive, that's a way of prepping. And it's a very sensible thing to do. And it's just even things like, some first aid skills and keeping a first aid kit on you, or in your car or something. If there's an accident, you can respond to it. And that's all really sensible things, it doesn't always have to be taken to the extreme of what the media would like to portray it as anyway, somebody living in a bunker on a rocking chair, cuddling a shotgun or something as, they lock people out, which I think is what the media always tries to portray it as, but often it's just people who are sensible enough to have emergency plans. For example, although we're becoming a much more consumerist society, I think anybody who's sensible would always keep more than the week's food in the cupboard. Because there's been times even near me, which isn't a bad area for sort of natural disaster type things, where we've had really deep snow a couple of years, and it's really difficult to get out to the shops, so obviously you keep a stockpile of food in case you can't get it, and the pipes can freeze. So they're less extreme examples, but good examples nonetheless of why you would want to prepare for things. But as I've been saying, even sensible preparation stuff like that, on my videos I've been getting sort of troll targeted comments calling anybody who looks at these sort of videos stupid and paranoid and the government will protect you, just as somewhere like the BBC is trying to do very much anti-prepper propaganda on their news outlet. So what I'd like to know is that any of the people who subscribe to my videos and do similar prepping sort of videos, or like to prep for stuff, let me know if you've had anything similar in the comments. I mean, I know you always get one or two people every now and again that come onto comments to insult you, because that's just YouTube, it's the internet. But what I'm all about is the really organised kind of, you almost get a wave of comments at once, like some source has found your videos and doesn't like them. Let me know about that. But yeah, as I said, BBC, shame on them, doing a really poor documentary and being very insulting to people. And yeah, I don't normally watch anything by the BBC. Alright, see you then.